think this is going to be a fun conversation. Today we're talking about life doesn't have to be complicated. And it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And you might even be having this little I call them the yeah buts. Life doesn't have
I'm
to be
getting the yeah, but even when you say that,
yeah, but there's all these issues over here, and yeah, but this is going on, and yeah, but there's that, and
yeah, but I got out of bed the wrong side of the bed. I got out of bed the wrong side, or yeah, but I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so today's gonna be a poo day. Like,
yeah,
you're already yeah. So maybe tip one is drop the yeah buts.
I love that. Yes,
Let's start with something different.
Yeah, but I like that.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Welcome, dear friends. Welcome, dear Deb. How are you today?
Fabulous, with a little bit of a husky voice there. I'm ready for my podcast. But apart from that, I'm fabulous.
Fabulous is awesome. Hello, dear listeners. Here we are. It is Debz and Moira with another one of our deliciously motivated mindset conversations. And today is going to be really good conversation. It just is, because it has to be.
I laugh when you told me the title. It's like,
I know.
People get themselves in such a pickle over this. It's like, this is a great one for me today too, after what we've just talked about.
Stay tuned. But before we get into our topic for today, if you've listened to us before, you know that we like to do our assessment. And this is checking in and just giving ourselves a number between 0 and 10. And we're checking to see how are we on all 4 pillars of us. And what I mean by that is how are we physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And it's just an assessment tool. And so 0 is feeling totally zen, peaceful, present, poised, balanced, and calm. And 10 is feeling like, OMG, there is so many complications and chaos, and I have no idea what to do, and that kind of thing. And the truth is we all move up and down that scale all the time. But by just telling yourself the truth and acknowledging where you are can sometimes be such a powerful piece in just managing what we experience, right? So all that being said, my dear,
and there is no right or wrong with this number.
No, absolutely. There's no right or wrong. And
it's just a number.
we just check in at the beginning of our conversation, and then we encourage our listeners to check in with themselves at the halfway point, and then we're all going to check in at the end. So just making a wee note of how are you feeling. That's it. So what number would you say you are?
I'm going to say I'm a 2, just because I have a little bit of a husky voice and a little bit of a right runny nostril. Just sharing that with everybody. But my head feels clear and my body doesn't feel achy. So I'm going to say 2. And today's topic, I just think this is going to be I say it's a goodie every time we do. But today it's going to be a hoot.
It's going to be really good. It's going to be an entertaining one. For myself, I'm putting myself at 2. I'm feeling pretty good, but I do have a little bit of aches and pains going on in my body. And so I'm just honoring that. But I'm really
I love that she's got the aches and pains in her body and I don't.
Oh, thanks.
You can have that for me. Thanks very much.
I'll keep them for you.
Yeah.
So listeners, we encourage you to grab a note-taking instrument, pen, pencil, something, or your phone, because we intend to really share some fun tips. I think this is going to be a fun conversation. Today we're talking about life doesn't have to be complicated. And it really doesn't. It really doesn't. And you might even be having this little I call them the yeah buts. Life doesn't have
I'm
to be
getting the yeah but, even when you say that.
Yeah, but there's all these issues over here, and yeah, but this is going on, and yeah, but there's that, and
yeah, but I got out of bed the wrong side of the bed. I got out of bed the wrong side, or yeah, but I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, so today's gonna be a poo day. Like,
yeah,
you're already yeah but.
Yeah.
So maybe tip 1 is drop the yeah buts.
I love that. Yes.
Let's start with something different.
Yeah buts. I like that.
Drop the yeah but.
Drop the yeah buts. Or you could even, that's a great tip. So that's your tip number 1. Drop the yeah buts. But here's the thing, and like you just said, you already started. When I say life doesn't have to be complicated, and we all start having some kind of little yeah but. So you could use them as a little check-in to say, is that the truth? Or am I making up a story in my head? Are you really going to have a bad day just because you got out of bed the wrong day? Or the wrong day, the wrong side of
the wrong day. Oh, that's when you go, oh, it's Thursday today, and people go, no, it's Friday, or it's Wednesday, and you're like, what? I've lost a day, I've gained a day. Hang on, what?
I've had that happen before.
Yeah. Yeah, but today's Friday. No, it's Wednesday. What? Hang on.
What happened there?
Yeah, a week later. Yeah. Dropping the yeah but is as simple as that. Is that the truth?
Yeah.
And I think, and I go back to, and I often say it doesn't have to be hard, even just that. So life doesn't have to be complicated. But if you just go, oh, the first tip is drop the yeah but. Oh, yeah, but there's, oh, yeah, but last time, oh, and that's exactly it. So it doesn't have to be complicated. Life doesn't have to be complicated. Any task you do doesn't have to be complicated. Breathing doesn't have to be complicated. No. Like all these things, getting the right pen. Yes, we've started. And if you haven't, that's PEN, a writing device with my accent. All those things, it's like, it's okay. We can do this. We can do this. If you haven't got your pen and you're started, just take your radio, whatever you're listening on your phone, and walk to find the pen. Like, you don't have to pause us. Yeah, but it can be simple. Yeah, it's that overcomplication.
Absolutely. And we can all get into overcomplication and making things more layered than they need to be. But that actually takes me into tip number 2. And this one's is about words, because yeah but is all about words, right? But I really encourage people to reframe I have to with I choose to. Because when we have I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, and I have to do this, then you can suddenly become in this real big complication before you even start taking any of the steps. As opposed to saying, I choose to do it this way, I choose this, and I choose this. There's an energy shift there, which does help simplify.
Moira says I choose to, and I always say, I don't always, but I say I love to. Whether
yes,
you love to
you
or
do.
not.
You do. I do. And I love that.
Yeah. And it's because so let's just say something that's mundane and drives me insane. Cleaning. I have to clean the house. You can feel your whole shoulders forward, energy, and you get
have
to
a little tantrum going on in your head.
Like there's no time. I don't. Yeah, and then there's the yeah, but I've got to get it done. But people are coming over, yeah, but, and then your conversation back is going to go on a downhill. But even that, I choose to clean the house. Feel how light. Everybody practice this now. Yes. I have to clean the house. Only if you don't like doing it. I have to clean the house. And you can feel that have to. It's a digging the spade into the dirt, and you just keep hitting the tree trunks to go, you can't even get beyond. I choose to clean the house. Just that choose feels like love, or I love to clean the house. You can't say I love to clean the house and your shoulders are down and you're frumpy. Just your physical doesn't go with I love to. I choose to. It's your choice. It's your life. It's your decisions. You can choose to clean the house or not.
What I really love about that energy is that it's self-motivated. When you're saying I love to and I choose to, it's self-motivated. As opposed to I have to is where's the motivation for that one coming from? Right.
And I need to. And I remember Dr. John DeMartini, his word was, when you say I need to, you're in survival mode.
Yeah.
And I remember like, no, you're not, just because I wanted to debunk a lot of things. And then I went, actually, you're right. You are, because I need to do this. And you're going to that desperation and survival.
Yeah.
I need to clean the house because my in-laws are coming over. I need to clean the house because it's being inspected. I need to clean the house. And I tell you what, all that energy you're putting into that need to and overthinking is just a downhill spiral. And it takes a harder to get yourself out of that downhill spiral.
Because that's a oppressive energy. That have to or need to. It's kind of like, wow, there's a huge agenda swallowing you up here, right?
It is, but
as opposed to finding your motivation.
It's putting sand in your Wellington gumboots and you're having to clean the house, and you're dragging your gumboots or wellies, as you call them over your way, Wellingtons, wellies. But I choose to. Just allows you to go, this is my life to make my own choice, and I love to. Now, even if you don't love to do it, I say, oh, I'd love to do the washing today. I say that to myself because I do often talk to myself. And I have great answers back. I'd like to say great answers, not the best sometimes. But, I'd love to do the washing today.
Yeah.
Just instantly there's a spark in your step that you're actually going to do it. And you're going to do it with a different vibration of energy. And that's what we're all about, because people are attached to that vibration. And because, and I'm going to say Debbie Downer because my name is Deborah, so I can say that. But you don't want to be around those Debbie Downers. You don't want to be around that energy, because they're the ones who are like a leech that suck all the blood out of you when you come away and you're left with, oh, what just happened? Oh my gosh, I've just listened to someone who says I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. And then they get to themselves that they just get in such a pickle that they actually don't do anything. It immobilizes them.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden that's awfully complicated.
Yeah.
Because where's the joy or the calmness or the peace or the harmony or the accomplishment is just so not there when you're in that kind of heavy type of mindset, right?
So just absolutely reframing that I choose to and I love to will give you that kick of inspiration without you even knowing you've got it. Your shoulders will be back. You'll have, you'll start seeing the light more than the dark. If I was to explain it like that.
Yep, definitely.
I love those. And I think now we talk about our same ones each week and
reframe them in different ways. Because there's so many truths in here, right?
Yeah, totally. So when you life doesn't have to be complicated. So when you see it, look at it and just go, what's the value to me of doing this? And what that is doing is that is shifting your energy is, oh my gosh, if I get this done, it means I can go spend some time with the kids.
Right.
Or if I get this done, I can have more money in my pocket. Or if I get this done, I can have another connection with my partner.
Right.
Or so look at the value that is of doing that thing that you're putting off.
Right.
Whatever you're putting off, look at the benefit, the value, the uplifting, how it can actually enhance your world instead of, oh, I've got to do this or I've got to do this. Like, so cleaning the house. What's the value of you cleaning your house? What's the benefit to you of cleaning your house? A, you get exercise. B, you have a massive satisfaction when it's done. But when
clear and ordered.
When you're doing it, your kids aren't around because you'll see them evacuate as quick as you can as soon as you bring the cleaning products out. What else is the value? You can listen to a podcast. Hey, I know a really good one. Deliciously Motivated Mindset with Debz and Moira. You can do these things. You can do this. And yes, you're going to start if you're hoovering to write notes down, or you can just listen and you'll be surprised how much you listen and you take in. But look at the value of whatever you're doing that you've been putting off for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you actually can see the value in doing it for you and your world, you'll get it done and it won't hang around like a bad smell.
And it won't suck your energy, right? So, because that whole piece around finding the value to me is also like getting in touch with your why. Your why. It's because really it's saying to yourself that you matter. You matter because it's nice to have clean, uncomplicated space around you. Which because this is my next tip is about decluttering. I've been having a conversation, an ongoing conversation actually, with a group that I'm working with right now. And we're
I hope my dad's not listening to this because he's like, Deborah, you don't declutter enough. I'm like, Dad, I've thrown away lots. I want to see what's going in your rubbish. I want to see what you're giving to charity. So Dad, don't listen. Turn it off now. It's like, you don't throw out enough. Like, yeah, but I need that program from when I was traveling in 1995 on a Kentucky tour. I need the Vatican book that was never ever opened. I need it.
That's funny.
Just for the record, it's not going to charity, it's going to a school, the Vatican book.
That's perfect. But no, so when I talk about decluttering, I'm actually not just talking about giving away things or going through bookshelves and things of that nature. It is part of it for sure. But what we've been getting into in this program that I'm running right now is looking at decluttering. Maybe it's decluttering your mindset of, oh, I have to do this and I don't want to do this and I'm going to put it off, and or I really have to get onto this new regime or this new routine. And sometimes decluttering means I'm only going to entertain the things that I know I'm going to do. And so for that, a really good way of decluttering is writing everything down. Because now I can then see if I have a whole array of need to get done or to-do list in my head, maybe some of it's not for me to do. And this idea of decluttering can sometimes be, I can enroll somebody else to do it, I can outsource it, or I can get a sense of it's actually not something that needs to be done right now. So it's about uncomplicating the whole timeline of
it's getting the stuff out of your mind onto paper.
Yes.
And then when you see it on paper, you're like, oh, this is not as bad as what I thought. This is actually achievable. Tell me, and I'm going to bring up the word journaling with that. How do you tell people to journal, Moira? Because I tell people to journal one way, and then I told my partner to journal one way, and she was like, is that all you do? I'm like, yeah. She goes, is that what Moira would do? And I went, never asked Moira. I must ask Moira how she journals. But I said, that's how I do it. It works for me. So this is all part of the decluttering. What do you say with decluttering? So journaling, is that just everything in your mind?
Yeah. So I like to encourage people to start a journal entry with I feel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So I feel. And it can be, I feel upset, I feel stressed out, I feel anxious, I feel like I don't know why the hell I'm writing in this journal.
So she said, can I start? I'm doing this because my girlfriend told me to. And I'm like,
yes,
you can start with that.
Of course.
I said, as long as it's not the first page, but just hide a page. Yeah.
Well, she could start it that way.
Yeah,
she could start it that way.
What do you want? Yeah.
But so it's that is my favorite way of doing it. And so once you get, sometimes those are just like the presenting feelings or thoughts, and then and I'll get into a flow, and like 3 pages later, another thing that I'm got in the back of my mind, if I want to get to this, or I'd really like to understand how come I keep feeling like that, or why does this kind of situation keep coming up for me? Maybe I need to write it out and ask it, what are you here for? What's the learning?
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm pleased you and I are on the same wavelength of how to journal, because I was like, I didn't, and she usually goes, is that how Moira does it? I'm like, you asked me, you didn't ask Moira, by the way, but I don't know. And I just thought, and so for me, I just write whatever I'm feeling, jobs to do, everything. All I'm doing is my journaling to me is just unpacking everything in my mind and putting it onto paper. And then if you do this every day, a week later, you're going to go back and you're going to go, oh my God, look how my world has changed from just unpacking this, or realizing how many things I've got done. And now look how much I've done. Or, having that. Okay.
And that in itself, that's just feel the energy of that. It feels so uncomplicated. It feels like flow and ease and finding your rhythm with it.
And and I love that. So if journaling is great, decluttering is like decluttering journaling, but just know that it may not work for some people. If you say to somebody,
absolutely.
journal, oh God, I couldn't think of anything worse, and no one's ever going to be able to read my writing. It's like, no one needs to read. Oh, I don't have a book. Then just type it into your notes, type it into an email,
piece of paper,
whatever. I personally prefer the not typing, because the hand and the head and the physically touching a pen and paper.
Yeah, that's actually a much easier way to access feelings, as if you're handwriting them, as opposed to typing. Then you're in your head. Which key do I have to hit?
Yeah, that's tap. Yeah, okay, perfect. So the decluttering, as part of that journaling. And so when we say decluttering, I'm going to branch that out to declutter people around you.
Definitely.
Declutter everything.
That was part of our conversation too.
Yeah, everything that doesn't light you up, doesn't give you the glitter bomb. Yeah.
As well as the things that distract you, because this is what we were talking about in this conversation with my group of girls. We were the things that, like Facebook feed or the Instagram or the emails or the video games or whatever it is that decluttering them too uncomplicates things and actually helps get in touch with what's right for you. What do you want?
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Okay, great. I love that. My next tip is changing your patterns. So as soon as you recognize that this is a pattern that's not working for you, change it. Change your state, change your pattern. My old favorite word starts with P, pivot. Just change it. If it doesn't work, change it. Just because it works for everyone else, it doesn't work for you. This has to be you who has to show up and turn up.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying if you're an 8 till 6 worker, because I don't know if anyone actually ever works 9 till 5 now. We used to say 9 till 5. I think that's Dolly Parton. I don't know if anyone works 9 till 5. Well, say you're a 9 till 5 worker, and then it's not working for you to go at 9 o'clock. Now, I'm not saying just turn up at 10 o'clock. There's definitely got to be a process in place to talk to those around you, how it's going to affect them or not affect them. And if it doesn't work, then go to another job, whatever it is. So it's about changing your patterns. And so recognize it. When you see it, recognize it, and then change it. Change your state, change your patterns, what lights you up, and look at where your energy's on the low down. And you'll know those people, you'll know the tasks you're doing, you'll know the things you do anyway. So change it. Don't sit in that complication place for so long. I've been I've been here for 3 years and I still don't like this job and I don't like the people and everything, and you're like, oh my God, how did you do 3 years of this? How does you go home to your partner and kids? Like, God, imagine that. Okay, that was mine. Change your patterns, change your state.
So I love that, because that I would add into that one is always remember you're the boss of you.
Oh, yes.
That's one of my favorite things to remind people, and I do this myself, is that nobody can make me think or feel stuck in something unless I say so. So to your point, of course you can change. You mean it, and so
but our heads run this freaking marathon that drives us insane. It's like, stop. Just stop, would you please stop? Definitely. I've got this. And it's funny you say that I'm the boss of me, because yesterday on our mentoring call, one of the women said she got herself into a pickle over the weekend, and she said she must have just nearly sellotaped her hand to her heart all weekend, because every time something happened,
I love it.
she said, there I was touching my heart and my boob, and I was going, I live here, I'm the boss of me, I live here, I'm the boss of me. And she said you could have just sellotaped her hand to her heart. She said that's what it was, just constantly, but it allowed her, and it wasn't the same challenge that came to her. I was like, really? After that first challenge, would you not have changed whatever was going on? She goes, oh no, then another challenge came, and then another challenge, and I was like, oh my God. But it is that boss you, I'm the boss of me, which reminds us to put our hand on our heart.
Absolutely.
And do that. I'm the boss of me.
I'm the boss of me.
I'm going to move that right to a whole new tip.
Yeah, that is a tip of its own, isn't it? I'm the boss of me. And so here's the next tip that I feel like I'm going to lead on straight from that one is don't compare yourself. Because you know how we're sitting, that's how come
I've got a good one after this one as well. But
well, because do you know how we can get into this thing, overcomplicating things, because we can maybe look at somebody and say, oh well, they made up their mind really quickly, or they got this thing resolved and I can't, or I'm still ruminating, or I'm still in this situation or scenario. That's okay, that's them. So uncomplicating things can sometimes be as simple as saying, nope, I'm the boss of me. I make up my choices and decisions and course corrections if I need to. So it's like giving yourself permission to say, okay, I'm going to choose that direction. And then as you're going down the path, you might then say, oh, this doesn't feel quite right. You can change. You could, to your set point, you just change, pivot. You do a pivot. Maybe that's what's needed. But I think that is something that's so, so important in this idea of life doesn't have to be complicated. And if it starts feeling complicated because you're living up to perceived expectations or comparing yourself to other people, then maybe it's time to journal that one out of your system. Right.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
And comparing, look, social media is a great one. Great one. Oh, I've got so many people to my workshop, or I've got a beautiful family, or I've got this. And we've just had an influencer in Australia, and she's been posting for the last year now, her partner, just beautiful, lovely posts about how in love with her partner she is. And then I just had to giggle because it's not really a giggling thing, but I just look at the whole split personality of social media, and he's just been arrested for murder.
Oh my God.
I know. Yeah, but it's actually even worse. It's actually of his mother. I know. So here is this woman for the last year and a half that I've followed her, been posting these beautiful and look, I don't know what the whole story is, and I will never know.
That's the whole point about it, right?
I know, but to see her post, oh, I have this loving partner and all this, and then suddenly he's just gone and he's just been arrested for murder, and it's for his mother, so it's like a double ouch. But they've just portrayed this whole beautiful image of family man. So for the last year and a bit, she's portrayed how gentle he is and everything, and so I'm like, oh my God, you've staged this. This is my theory. This is my theory. Bit of goss here. Oh my God, you've staged this to make it look amazing for this last, wow. And I'm like, this is social media prime. This is exactly what social media is about.
Yeah.
And it's just showing the one side constantly. Funnily enough, she's turned off all comments on her Instagram.
Well, no.
Now, what's that saying? Not ready for that. But you know, I mean, this happened 2 years ago, apparently, anyway. So I'm just like, oh, strategy, I know what's gone on here. Now I don't know. Just for the record, I don't fully know, and I'm only just reading one side of the Daily Mail. But it's just showing that whole comparing, and social media is one that is only going to take you on a downhill spiral.
Well, that's the whole point of social media, to always remember, is people will only share what they want you to see. They're not going to tell you the gory details, obviously.
No, because then you get a reminder a year later. Actually, then you get a reminder the year later. You go, whoops, yes, I remember that.
Yeah,
that's it. Yes, but I love that stop comparing, and that just entangles into my next one, which Moira's going to go, yes, and that is shame and guilt.
Definitely.
No matter what you've done, you're worthy of love.
Yeah,
and there's shame and guilt. So be gone, shame and guilt.
Yes,
you know, and we have this Pac-Man mentality, which is also other people. You need to be this of that. You need to be this of that. You need to feel sorry for this or that. And so that shame and guilt is for you to deal with, not anyone else's, unless you're coming to a professional, Moira or I, or somebody who's a proper person, who's a proper person, who can actually help you with your shame and guilt. But this is about you to deal with it, not for other people to fix it within you. It's only for you. But because you have attached yourself to the story that it's so bad that what you've done or not done or whatever, and you're left with this. But shame and guilt, be gone. Kiss, blow, gone.
Thank it, and move definitely on. Just like I have gratitude. And then I can start to release it, because it is an emotion that will come up, because we don't want to run from it. Wrong. We don't want to do wrong, or we don't want to hurt or harm another. But the thing is so if it comes up, then it can maybe be a little bit of a tap on your shoulder to sit and say, did I do the best? Do I need to go and say sorry to somebody? Right? And then
did I do the best with what I had right now? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And then be okay with it. It's not to hang on to any kind of shame and guilt story, because that's just going to suck your energy and make things feel much more complicated than they perhaps really are. Right.
And if you're really stuck in that shame and guilt, it will turn into your physical.
Yeah.
So you will start to get sick. And you will start to get headaches or any, all that, or stomach trouble or any of that churning away,
just heavy energy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely in your Wellingtons with water clogged up to it.
Right.
And you're only standing. That. No, that's uncomfortable to walk in water with Wellingtons. Yeah.
Well, it'll feel a lot more burdensome.
It's not light.
Yes. Yeah. It's not light. It's not light, and it'll feel so exhausting. Really.
Well, you're working twice as hard and so that's complicating.
It is
you're working twice as hard for a small outcome.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me to another tip, is to appreciate the accomplishments that you've had, and also appreciate you creating space and time to pause so that you can get into your inner wisdom. Because I don't think we do that enough, to just go, okay, hey, look, I've achieved all this. I've accomplished all these different things. We all have amazing accomplishments and achievements. And so it's really important. I actually get a lot of my clients to actually pat themselves on the back. We're not conditioned to do that. It's like, no, it's okay. Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, but we're not.
No.
And often when people go, thank you so much for that, we go, oh, yeah, it's no big deal.
I know.
Just back away. Like, accept the gratitude. Yeah, so accept the gratitude that comes your way. It's the other one too.
Super important. Actually, what? It's really funny. Many years ago, when I first started my healing practice business, I was really, really vigilant on making sure that all my clients knew that really it's them that did the healing work. I was just the conduit or the tool or the guide. And so when people would come and say, oh, thank you, you're so, so helpful. I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'd be, oh, nothing, it was you. It's all you. And I remember working with a mentor, and she said, Moira, where that is true, you must let some of that gratitude in for you because it's intended for you too. And it did. It taught me
I'm smiling because I'm like, I've had that same conversation. And passed it on many times.
Yeah. And so that helps uncomplicate things, because it's not all about all appreciation is onto the other. It does, you do need to appreciate it in yourself and say, look, I am good. I have, spent all these hours with my craft and the ability and capacity that I offer. So thank you for noticing it, or thank you for feeling into the potential of what you can achieve with the ideas or tips or processes that I'm teaching you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, take that thank you and put it into your heart, or put it into your back pocket when you need it. For when you need it. It's funny because I don't know what this is about males and females. So you hear a male go, oh, cool tie, and the guy goes, yeah, bro, I love it too. Done. You say to a lady, oh, what a beautiful dress you've got on. They're like, oh, I bought it on sale from so-and-so, and this is an old thing, and I've had it for 10 years, and I just pulled it out of the wardrobe. And you're just like, okay, whatever happened to thank you, I love it too. Like, it's really, I don't know what that whole thing is, but, you say to someone, oh, I love your new hairstyle or something, and they go, oh, yeah, it needed a change because I've this and this. And they just hit back with all this negativity, and you're like, I'm just giving you a compliment, not because I felt you needed it. I felt because I stopped many women in the street and men, which doesn't, I remember chasing a man down the street because he had this beautiful smell. I was like, what is that smell he's got? I want that aftershave for my dad. And I chased him down the street, and his wife, this woman came out of nowhere, and she didn't really know that. And I was like, oh, what is that? I just want to stop. What is that beautiful smell you're smelling? Because I want to compliment people like that. Well, I love to, and I love to compliment. I don't know that I want to. I love to, because I know what it feels like to get that back. But us women, we don't receive.
We're not very good at receiving them. No, it's like, oh, this old thing, or oh no, it was nothing, or.
Yeah. I know the worst part is actually when you do wash your hair and someone goes, your hair looks great, and you're like, oh, I just washed it. That one is acceptable.
You don't need to say it. You don't need to say it. You can just say thanks.
Just go, thank you. With it too. Yeah, thanks. Wasn't really bad last time you've seen me. But we don't. So appreciate giving out and appreciate receiving.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful one. Well, my thing is about being complicated. I just want to share a quick tip. Mine is share a smile.
Oh, definitely. That's around this appreciation thing too, right?
It is.
Just a smile. Absolutely.
Because
I love that.
You don't know what the other person's doing. Now I know, Moira, you have an amazing nail technician.
Yes, I do.
And she lights up when she sees you coming in, and she knows you're coming in, and then as soon as Moira gets on her podcast, I go, show me nails. Yeah. I know she's had because we got into the same time we were going, show me nails, and I share it and I love it, and it lights me up. And so that whole share a smile, sharing a smile or a compliment or any of that thing is free.
Yeah.
And you can walk down the street and share a smile with someone. Now be careful if you're going to share a smile to a couple, because you might it might complicate it for them, not for you. So watch your intentions.
We'll make sure it's to both of them.
Yeah, smile. Both of them. Yeah, that's it. Don't give the wink to the boy if you're a girl, and vice versa, or anything.
That might get you in trouble. Complicated.
Yeah, complicated, and for their world too. Did you know someone winked at you down? Yeah. So share that gift of love that you have, because the world is willing and ready to accept that love.
Definitely. I would say that's actually shining your light. When we smile, we're shining our light, right?
Absolutely.
So I love that. Yeah. And that's what we're supposed to be all doing, is shining. Yes. And then, but you see, that's the ripple effect, that if when I smile at somebody and they smile back, then they're sharing their light too. And it ripples on and on and on and on like this big tidal wave of beautiful, loving light.
No. Well, it is, because you don't know the connection.
Exactly.
You don't. And I instantly think of my old boss many years ago, and he would employed a personal assistant, and I said, "What's her experience?" And he said, "Oh, she's a salesperson." I went in to buy a tie, and I came out with 3 suits. And I said, "Hang on a minute, you cannot put a woman who is a salesperson, who's a young salesperson, in your PA role. You're a manager of a big department store. You can't, like, there's got to be a point." He's like, "No, there's just something about her." I was like, "Oh my God, how are we going to manage this? How are we going to manage this?" So we all in the office just went, "Okay, well, whenever this woman comes in, we're going to have to manage her." She came in and she was so quick to learn. She just loved life. Nothing was a problem. I was like, "You must be psycho behind the scenes," because I must have been 19 or so. And I was like, "There must be something wrong with you behind the scenes. You cannot be this bubbly, this." And she was just so gracious and so, "Okay, I can do that. No, that's not going to work today, but I can do it tomorrow." And she constantly walked around with a smile on her face. And as it was, we found out that she had nearly died millions and millions of times because she had the most incredible medical conditions. I don't even know how anyone could have survived half of her stuff, but she chose to smile, and nothing was a problem. And I put that down to her. I put that down to her just because she had so many complications. But she just chose to choose joy. So she chose joy in her life. And
beautiful story.
She chose not to have anything complicated. But you don't need to have the catastrophic event to change your world.
No, you don't.
You can.
No, you don't.
Just listen to this podcast and change.
Yes, you can uncomplicate it just by listening to us.
I know. I often think about her. She was a beautiful girl. Beautiful girl.
Awesome. I love that.
And that's a good time to wrap that up, unless you've got another quick one.
No, I think we need to recap.
Yeah, get ourselves in here. So our recapping is, if you didn't get your pen and paper, your biro, quickly grab it now. Quick.
Yeah, because we're going to do a quick recap of all these tips.
Because we're going to do a recap on all these amazing tips. So our topic is life doesn't have to be complicated. So tip number 1, who started? You started. I started. Okay. So you read my one out. Tip number 1
was to drop the yeah but.
Oh yeah, maybe that was mine. Yeah,
I think it was.
And I have to Google.
Was co-created.
Yeah, I have to Google because I've got
because so to drop the yeah but, we said stop and ask yourself, is that the truth? Yes.
Yeah, that's it. And so we're dropping that yeah but, because that is the stuff that immobilizes you.
That's right.
And as soon as you get on the yeah but train, it's really hard to jump off. Well, it's not hard. You can definitely do it, but that train can rattle very fast. It's a pain in the butt. Don't even get to the yeah but stage. As soon as you hear that yeah but, just go, "Oh, yeah but." So when you hear the yeah but, I clench my butt. Yeah but. But instead of B-U-T, I go B-U-T-T. So as soon as I hear that, clench, and that's changing your state. And then you're like, okay, now I've got to focus on the yeah but. What would be wise for me to reframe
and
that?
I've just recognized it's not true. So on I go.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, it's not. It's a crock of, it's a thought process. Yeah, perfect. So the next one we had was a reframe. And that's reframing that I have to, I need to, I ought to, I've got to. All those languages too. I choose to, and I love to.
Yeah. Just such a beautiful, calming, uncomplication.
You're still going to do the task, but just that's it. I choose to.
Yeah.
I love to.
And that's when I said that the difference is that when we say I choose to and I love to, it's self-motivated, as opposed to I have to. It's coming from outside of you. It's it's a head-based thing of that kind of thing.
Yeah, perfect.
The next one was, what's the value to me? So it's to what's the value to me for doing this task or not doing this task? What's my why? What's the benefit? Right?
Yeah. What's the value of doing X, Y, Z?
Yeah. And that is such a beautiful, uncomplicating thing. Like it's like, oh, okay, get it. This is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, as soon as you see it, you'll probably giggle or smile, or maybe like me, laugh and go, really? I've been sitting myself in that for so long, and I can actually truly see the value is this.
Yeah.
Like if you're sitting on the fence, there's clearly something going on, so you do have to unpack it. But if you can see the value in you doing X, Y, Z, you're left with,
that's it.
Oh, okay.
All right,
yeah.
let's do it.
Well, hang on. It can't be that easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're gonna have that. It can't be that easy.
Easy. Surely
can't-
not.
Just because it said yes, it can't be that easy. Yeah, that's actually a great tip. It can't be that easy because we do.
Yeah.
The next one I have is decluttering.
Mm-hmm.
And this is decluttering. I talked about my garage, clearly. Decluttering and people, and decluttering your mind, decluttering anything that's weighing you down.
Yeah, and that's when we said decluttering things that distract you, and then that's the tip that we've got into talking a lot about journaling, because journaling is a beautiful tool to declutter, because it's kind of like do a brain dump, everything that's whizzing around your head, write it all down.
Yeah.
Start a journal entry with I feel and see where it goes.
Perfect. And so I love that I feel. And what you're going to do is once you've started the I feel, you will shift to something along, and once you get yourself into that pattern of doing it, you'll shift into something. Today I had the opportunity to.
Yeah.
And that has changed. That today I had the opportunity to have an argument with my neighbor or have a conversation with my neighbor. Like it's just different. Today I had the opportunity to. So you can actually see it as a blessing.
Absolutely. Bring appreciation into it. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Love that.
Next one. Changing patterns.
Yes.
Was this you or me going to say this one?
You're going to say it.
So I've said it now. Changing patterns change your state.
Yes. And you also said about pivot at that point, because that's one of your favorite words. I love that one.
Pivot came about in 2020. My goodness.
Yes.
And just when I learned to pivot and I thought I'd mastered it, oof, here comes another one. You're like, no, come on. I just got this. And I just became the master of pivot. Okay.
You did. Yep.
It may be complicated, but I'm going to uncomplicate it. I'm just going to pivot.
I'm just going to
pivot. Just going to pivot. Yeah.
That actually makes me think of something that I've said before too, is that it's having an implicit trust in yourself that you're never in a situation which you cannot deal with, even if you can't see it. And so that's the pivot too. Is like, oh, okay, I just need to change the state.
It's that trust.
Yeah,
it's trust. So trust in yourself, trust in others, and trust in the universe.
Absolutely. Yeah. I did a wee add-on, and we decided to make it a separate tip with I'm the boss of me.
Yeah.
Yes, that helps with the changing your pattern, but it's also to recognize that if things start feeling complicated or overwhelming or too many things on the go, it's like, no, wait, I'm the boss of me. I get to decide what stays. Maybe I need to sit and stay longer with my journal, or I need to unpack things a little bit more so as that it doesn't have to be complicated, right?
And that comes with a physical action. What's the physical action that comes with that one? Oh, Moira's looking at me like, what? Moira's the master of this. And she's looking at me like, what's the physical action? It's called your hand on your
heart. Or what I like to say is that you stand up and you put your both fists on your hips and thrust your shoulders back and say, I am the boss of me. Then you can put your hand over your heart and live there.
And the boss of me. Yes. Yes.
That's the stance for it.
That's it. Which actually, I'll tell you something. I went to the doctor the other day. I'll tell you something that she told me when we get off here. Tell you Moira. I'm going to hope I remember that about the hand on the heart thing, because she was telling me the same thing. Basically, that's what she said. And the nurse was there, and she said she does it often.
That's
cool. As the hand on the heart.
That's cool.
Yeah.
See, it's gone. That. It's just gone weaving
it's gone viral.
Yep, that's what it is.
And that's a medical practice that you go. That's I was going to say legit medical practice. Like that's an
allopathic doctor.
That's where they send you in the ambulance from that there. If you're in trouble, that's one of those ones. Yeah. So my next tip was stop comparing.
Yes.
Stop. Just stop. And I talked about social media. Just stop. Just stop. The moment it comes in, is that but again? Is this the truth? No.
Get away. Go. I'm the boss of me, so I'm not comparing myself to other people.
Yeah. Comparing yeah.
The next one we talked about was releasing all forms of shame and guilt. Feel it, acknowledge it, do your review, but then let it go, release it. That it's such an energy drain, and it will make things feel a lot more complicated than they really are if you get stuck in that sort of that loop, right?
Well, that shame and guilt's a train to be on. That's a thing. And I talk about, the Pac-Man, and the Pac-Man is just yuck, and the Pac-Man is all the outside people telling you what to do and what not to do.
Yeah. Come back. I'm the boss of me. There.
Yeah.
Thread that one in.
Appreciate.
Yes.
Appreciate. And that is appreciate your compliments.
Gratitude. Yeah. Receive compliments too. Reset.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be grateful for those around you. Be grateful for those not around you. Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for what you don't have. Be grateful for what you've achieved. Be grateful for what you haven't achieved.
Yeah.
Be grateful. Just appreciate.
Just everything. Appreciate everything.
And
then the last one that I have here was you said share a smile, and I said it can also be seen as shining your light.
I know. I wrote shine your light beside mine. I went, oh,
yeah.
It's simple. It's easy. It's quick. It can change your state. Now, don't share it expecting a one in return, because if you're sharing things and expecting a smile return and they don't share with you, you're going to start going, right, I did it once to somebody and they didn't even smile at me. No, well, they might be blind. Okay. Maybe they didn't see you.
They may have some kind of conversation going on, some big complicated thing that they're trying to.
I'm just going to say they might be complicated. Yeah.
So the thing about smiling, though, is that it's a boost. It's a lovely energy boost to us. So just appreciate that that's what you did, and they'll smile back.
It's simple.
Another time.
It's simple. And so I'm actually just going to add another tip on here, and that is keep life simple.
Keep life simple, because it doesn't have to be complicated.
Life doesn't. Yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Keep your business name simple. Keep your ideas simple. Just keep it simple.
That's the KISS method.
Is it?
Yeah, KISS method. Keep
it simple.
KISS.
Stupid. What's the S one?
I know. It's silly. Some people say stupid, but I say silly.
Okay.
It's simple, silly.
Yeah, it is. Keep it simple. Where I mentor people and they're like, oh, this, and this, and I've got 7 offers going out. I'm like, well, just do 2. Oh, what? Just do 2. Don't do 7.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, can you just do 2? Can you just offer 1? Like, keep it simple. They're like, oh, really? But I've got 7 sales pages already done. Great. Do 2.
We can leave them to another time.
Exactly. I love this. So life doesn't have to be complicated. As we wrap this up, we started with a number. And we both started with, you were a 2 or 2.5?
No, 2. I was 2. We were both at 2.
Yeah, I was a 2, both at a 2. So where are you sitting now? And for everyone else, where are they sitting? So Moira, what are you?
I'm a 0. My achy back's not sore anymore. Cool.
Funny. Yeah. My throat feels very, very different. I love today. I'm
Today
a 0.
was a really good one. You're a 0. I knew you were a 0.
In my telepathic ways knew you're a 0 too. You can't, So let us know what number you were and where you're at. And if these tips really helped you, and if you've got any that we've missed off that you use, because I can clearly think of another 20. But
I know we could do it all over again.
I know we could do it all over again. But I love these. I love these simple tips, and it is keep it simple. Life doesn't have to be complicated.
No, it doesn't.
Shake it off. So if you loved today, you have to. No.
No, you can choose
you love today. You choose to. You'd love to. Then the next step is to share this. Share this with those you care about. Share with those you think would find value in this. Share this, because our key is to reach people that can do things in their world and not just sit, because it doesn't have to be complicated. Life doesn't have to be complicated. Let's shift you out of that.
Let's just make that a mantra that we all get up every morning and say.
It is like you can do life. We can do life, and we can do it easily, but we do get ourselves into a pickle. So there's our top 10 tips for today. Thank you very much, everybody. We've moved from a 2 to a 0. Let us know where you're at. And that's Debz and Moira signing off from our deliciously motivated mindset conversation. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Moira. Thanks, people.
Thanks, dear Debz. Thanks, listeners. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.